In this short video, you will learn how to use and move around items in Google Drawing and also in Google Slides. Now, for students, you should already have this assignment. Your teachers have uploaded it into your Google Classroom. And on my screen, what I have is two different drawings or two different ways to do this. And you will be able to move and create this timeline. Notice your directions say, please do not do both, only one. So I'm going to show you how to do it in both the Google Drawing and the Google Slide. So what you will do is go ahead and click on Google Drawing. And there are a couple things already there for you. One of the things that I want to show you is that this is an interactive timeline. What do I mean by interactive? You have all of this space on the side. So what you're going to do is just click and drag over to where each of the events fall on the timeline in chronological order. Now, since we have some events that will actually be in more than 1 year, what you're going to have to do is add a line to it. Now, anytime that you want to go back and do something, always hit the undo button, and notice it takes it back to its original spot. So what I'm going to show you is how to connect a line to each of your boxes there. So what you want to do is go to where it says line, click on it, and you want to select line. And then notice the arrows, or not the arrows, the purple dots come up, and this is basically to keep the line straight. So you want to draw it straight up. Okay. Now it's kind of thin, so what we can do is change the line color. I'm going to change mine to purple, and you can also change the line weight as well. I'm going to change mine to 3. Let's change a little bit wider there. Okay, so we can change it to 4. Okay, now since we have this particular the line already attached to it, I want to make this as 1. So what I'm going to do is click and drag and make a box over that information and then let go. Now I want to go to arrange, and down here it says group. I want to put these two together, so anytime one moves, the other one moves as well. So click on group, and then what you can do is just click and drag, click and drag this over to the correct spot where it goes. Now, does South Carolina succeed from the Union go there? Well, go back and look at your notes. That's up to you to figure out. Now, you can do this for the rest of them as well. If you want to go ahead and add a line. So what you would do is click on line and draw a straight line. And then if you want to change the color and change the line weight, you can do that. And then what you're going to do, delete that. What you're going to do is, to make this a group, you're going to left click and you're going to draw a box, and then you're going to go to arrange and you want to group it. So then what you will do is click on it and you can move it to where you think it should go. Now you can change the font. So if you want to change it to something fancy, you can do it that way. If you want to change each one to something different, you can do it that way as well. If you want to change the font color, you can change the font color as well. Now, one thing that's unique about this, as I told you all, notice I said it's in a group. So say you want to widen this a little bit. So you can widen this just a little bit, and notice the line moved as well. I'll do that again. You can widen the text box, or if you want to move it down. Okay. So that's how you will do each of your events. Now, the other part of this is that you're supposed to choose 4 events, and those 4 events you're supposed to illustrate. So this one says South Carolina succeeds in the Union and Fort Sumner attacked. And one has already been done for you, Abraham Lincoln elected president. So what I'm going to do, notice it's like a little mountain sign here. This is to search an image. So click on it, and you're going to search the web. All of these pictures that you're going to search from Google Images, you have the right to use. So the first one is Abraham Lincoln is elected president. So I would probably type in 16th president, and notice I come up with several pictures. So whichever one that you want to choose, and so I will choose this first one. And after you click on it, notice it says to insert. So I'm going to click insert. Okay, let's try that again. Okay, so we have our 16th president, and notice he takes up the entire timeline. So what I want to do is just grab whichever corner you want to one of the boxes, the blue boxes, and I want to make him smaller. And then I want to move him over. He's still a little bit too big, so I'll make him a little bit smaller. And then I have President Lincoln. Let's make him a little bit smaller there. Okay, so we can see him. Although he's small, but you can still see him as well. So we have Abraham Lincoln elected president. Now, once again, what I would do is connect my event to my picture. So we're going to go back to select line, and notice the purple dots, and I'm going to connect it to Abraham Lincoln elected president. So I'm going to draw it there. And remember, it's kind of thin, so our line color, I'm going to make it purple. And I'm going to make it about 4 point. And notice it is a little bit crooked. And the reason why it keeps doing that is because it thinks I want to duplicate it, but that's fine. So I need to kind of square up my line just a little bit. So we're going to make it straight. So we're going to move it just a little bit over to make it straight. Okay. I think it looks good. Nope, it's still a little crooked. So let's move it over. Okay, so now we pretty much have it straight. Now, you have Abraham Lincoln is elected president, and you have the picture of Abraham Lincoln as well. Okay, so once you've done your pictures, there's only 4 pictures that you must do. Don't forget to answer the questions. So down here at the bottom, this is also fillable. So you want to double click, and notice you have your cursor. And these must be answered in a complete sentence. It says, how many years did the Civil War last? And you would answer, the Civil War lasted for 5 years. Now, once again, you can change the color. Grab all of that. So you can change the color. You can change the font size. You can change, well, the font size. And you can also change your color as well. Okay, if you want to make it bold, you can do that as well. So then you go down to your next question. It says, why is Gettysburg considered the turning point of the Civil War? So you would answer in a complete sentence. Gettysburg was considered the turning point of the Civil War cause, and from your prior knowledge and from the assignments that you've been working on, I'll let you go ahead and fill in the rest of that. Once again, you can highlight that and you can change the font. And then if you want to change the size, you can change the size. And then you can also change the color. If you want to change the color, you can change the color. I would not do that light. Okay? So that is how you will do the timeline of the Civil War for the Google Drawings. Now, notice that it says all changes saved in Drive. So once you have finished with this, you will go back to Google Classroom. And once you've done that, my screen looks a little bit different, but yours should say turn in. So what you're going to do is, before you turn it in, what you will see is a little paper clip down here at the bottom, There'll be a paper clip at the bottom. And what you're going to do is click on the paper clip, and then it's going to ask you which file. So you want to go to your Google Drive, and from your Google Drive, that is where you're going to find either the Google Drawing for timeline or the Google Slide for your timeline. Okay, and then you will click the turn in, and it will go to your teacher. Now, let me show you how to do the Google Slide. It's exactly the same thing. Okay, so you have your directions there. And notice I have my information on the side. If you can't see this, what you can do is click on zoom out, and then you will have your information. And notice I've given you a couple examples there. Don't forget 4 pictures or symbols and drag these objects into your timeline. So I want to kind of make this just a little bit bigger there. So I'm going to do once again. I want to go ahead and attach a line to this. So what I'm going to do is select my line, and this is the one I want to attach it to. So we're just going to draw a line. And I would probably stagger my events. What do I mean by stagger? Put one on top, one on the bottom, one on top, one on the bottom. So I'm going to actually move this up to the top to kind of give you an idea of how it would look with the events staggered, one on the top, one on the bottom. So with that, I want to change the color and change the weight. Okay, and remember, we're going to group this. So I want to click and draw a blue box. And so I have, let me undo that. Okay, so you want to go to Arrange, and you want to group it. And with that, now I can move this over to my timeline. Took a little bit too much there, so let's go back and redo that. The undo button is going to be your friend. Make that a little bit wider, okay? And I'm going to actually scoot this over just a little bit. And I'm going to scoot my line over just a little bit. And for the purpose of the video, I'm going to zoom out. Notice you have all this space over here. So I'm just going to kind of move this over just a little bit. Okay. So now what I want to do is with the left click, I'm going to go ahead and draw my box. And then I want to go to arrange and I want to group that. So those two are grouped. And what I mean by group, whenever you move one, you move the other. If you want to resize it, it will be resized at the same width. So I'm going to move this over to my map there, or to my timeline. So I want to go ahead and go back into it. And as you see there, you have your first event there. Now with that, you can also click on that, and I don't think I changed the color of that. So let me change the color. Okay. And then you can also individually just move that down by moving the down key or your mouse. So that way it is actually attached. And so you have South Carolina succeeds from the Union. So now, notice now one's on the top, one's on the bottom. One's on the top, one's on the bottom. So let me kind of zoom out just a little bit, kind of give you an idea of what it will look like. Okay, so this kind of gives you an idea of how it will look like. Now, to add a picture, we're going to do the same exact thing. We have South Carolina succeeds from the Union. So what I want to do is go into my little mountain picture there. Looks like a mountain symbol. So I want to click Insert, Search the Web, and I want to type in Fort Sumter. And for Fort Sumter, you have pictures of today, what it looks like today, and then you have pictures of it, what it looked like back then. So whichever one you want to use, I'm going to go ahead and use the one that what it looked like back in the 1800s, 1860s. Almost gave you a hint there. So I'm going to insert it. And notice once again, it's too large. It covers up most of my timeline. So I am going to grab the blue box and I'm going to move it down. Grab the blue box and I'm going to make this just a little bit so I can kind of see it here. Make it a little bit smaller. You can still see it. And notice, if you notice the red line, that lets you know that it is in line with everything else, with the box. Okay, so you have that. If you want to add a line to it, you can add a line. So if you want to add a line, insert line, and we want to draw it from the box from the picture to the box to the event. And so you have your line there. And then we want to change it to, I'll do purple. If you hadn't already figured out, purple is my favorite color. And so with that, you have a line now attached to it. You can go back and straighten it up just a little bit if you like. Okay. So just to kind of give it a little flair there, remember that you can change your font. You can change the font size. you can change the color as well. But however, if you notice, it goes just a little bit beyond the box. So all you have to do is just grab one of the little blue boxes and stretch it out. And notice everything, when it moves, the text box moves, everything else moves as well. If you want to shorten it up just a little bit, you can move it back up. And there you have it. So let me go back and so with that, now you have South Carolina succeeds from the Union and you have your picture. Now, remember, everything is saved as soon as you do anything. All your changes are saved. Undo is going to be your friend. That is going to be your friend. All right, next we have the timeline boxes or the questions. So it's the same thing. You're going to double click and then you're going to answer the question. The Civil War lasted for 5 years, period. And then once again, you can highlight that. You can change the font. You can change the font size. And of course, you can change the color. Same thing for this next one, just double click. And the question is, why is Gettysburg considered the turning point of the Civil War? Your answer, Gettysburg was considered the turning point of the Civil War cause. And you will fill in the rest of it once again. If you want to highlight it, change the font the font size. If you want to change the color, you can change the color as well. Once you've done this, like the same thing for your Google drawing, you will go back to your student work and you will have, it'll say turn in. And so what you will do, you will attach it first before you click turn in. Because if you turn it in and you send it, then your teachers don't have anything to look at. So always you want to attach it. So there will be a little paper clip down here and you will click on that to attach or to add. And the first thing that you want to click on is Google Drive. And then you will find whichever assignment is in your Google Drive. If it's this one, then it's fine. Or if it's the Google slide, it's fine as well. What do I mean by my Google Drive? Let me open up another page here. This is my Google Drive. And so notice I have what I've just edited today, both my Google drawing and my Google slide as well. And what you can do is double click on it. And mine will actually open up to what I've already done. But for you, what you will be doing is you will be turning it in. So you will be adding it to your, you would add it as an attachment. So I'm hoping with that you have fun with this interactive timeline, not only for the Google drawing or for the Google slide. Remember, how many do you have to do? Which one do you have to do? Just one, either the Google slide or the Google drawing. I don't think your teachers will be giving you extra credit for that. So with that, I hope this was pretty simple and self-explanatory. If you need to watch the video again, watch the video again. Thanks.